Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I got something cool I want to do. I'll go ahead and do. I just powered this guy off for the first time in quite a while. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and actually upgrade this cooler. Why? Because I do want to go ahead and see if I can try to overclock it a little bit. And these stock coolers, they just they don't cut it. So we're gonna go ahead and take this guy out of its little holder. I did buy this one from Pleb Source a while ago, which is pretty cool, and it's been doing pretty well. As you can see, I already did a little bit of a mod here because I've got my two little heat sinks right there, so that way these chips are able to stay cool. But now we're gonna go ahead and upgrade this guy right here, so that way it'll actually be a little bit cooler. So let's take a look to see what I actually bought. So via some of the videos I've seen before about upgrading the cooling system on these guys, you're gonna need a different set of hardware. So that's what I got here. Everything that I have here I got from Amazon, so if you guys are interested in any of this stuff, feel free to use my referral link down below for Amazon, and you can find this up there as well. I'll try to go ahead and link these in there. This right here is a little adapter plate that's actually 3D printed, so that way we can actually get this cooler that I bought to mount to this, to mount to the board itself. This is gonna be a one shot for me. I've not done this yet. I don't know what to expect. And then you're also gonna get a chance to see that really awesome mat that you guys saw in my short the other day. It's right here. I love this thing. I am super excited. I'm actually gonna probably flip it around. That way you guys can see it while I'm doing all the work as well. And maybe learn something about crypto trading, which is something I'm trying to do as well. Last thing we have is I'm using Arctic MX4 for the thermal compound. So let's go ahead and get all this stuff set up. And next thing you'll see is me taking the unit apart. All right guys, so here you can actually see I've got everything that we're gonna use in today's video right here on top of my nice little mat that I told you guys I got yesterday. Super excited to do that. First things first, I wanna go ahead and open this guy up and see what's on the inside. So let's take a look. This is my first time actually opening this box. I don't know what's in here. Well, I mean, obviously it's gonna be a cooler and looks like a RGB style fan. So this is actually meant to be used on a, if you look right here, a Raspberry Pi device. But it will work for what we're getting ready to do. So we do have some hardware here. We've got the little fan with cooler assembly itself. Oops. Comes with a little screwdriver. Here's our little RGB fan. It'd be really cool to go ahead and get this guy set up on there, but the issue is this is a 4-pin header that's on here because this is a pulse width modulated fan. So I want to go ahead and want to keep the pulse width modulated fan. So that means that we're not going to actually be able to use the RGB fan, which sucks. But it is what it is. So let's go ahead and disassemble this really quick. Now the hardware that we're using is going to be an M3 by 20. So if you guys are planning on doing something like this and you decide to get this Arctic cooler that I got here, you want to go ahead and get yourself an M3 style bolt that is about 20 millimeters long, and that will allow for the fasteners to go all the way through the actual factory fan to go into the cooler itself. And really all we want is for it to go ahead and make you just get a couple threads into it, because we don't want to run into the actual cooling mechanism itself. So here's the actual cooler without the RGB fan in place. I'm a little sad. I wanted to go ahead and use the RGB fan, but unfortunately it's not going to work well. I mean, I could have it and it'll just say running all the same speed all the time. So we're gonna go ahead and release that 4-pin right there. I'm gonna go ahead and undo these screws here. So these screws that are in here are actually more like pointed screws. And what they do is they sort of wedge themselves in between the fins inside of the cooler itself. And that's how it works. Now the thing about using this, and this is my first time actually doing this, so I'm not 100% sure, but from what I understand, we're going to have to orientate the cooling fan in the right position So that way it's got plenty of length for the cable, for the wires and stuff like that to actually be done properly. So if we look here, this is the orientation that this fan was in on here. So we're gonna take this guy and it's gonna go on like this. So we wanna go ahead and probably have it set up very similarly. So something like this probably. And when it goes in place, it'll be like this, and then we'll have the header right here. If we wanted to shorten the cable wires up a little bit, we could do that as well, to go like this. But we're gonna do that here in a minute. Next thing I wanna do is I wanna actually try to release this heatsink. All right, so as you can see, this heatsink is actually pretty small in comparison to this guy. When you actually look at the contact patch here, it's actually gonna be a little small, but the chip itself is really small inside of here. You have a chance to see that in a second. So to release these little push pins, you can see they're spring loaded. What we have to do is we actually have to compress this end here. I'll show it to you guys. Now all we gotta do is just squeeze it. So we're gonna push it in, and I'm gonna grab my pliers, squeeze those ends in, and it should release just like that. So right here is our little ASIC chip. And this is what does all the work for us. And as you can see there, the thermal paste did start to harden a little bit around the edges, which is one of the things that you always have to worry about with these guys, because they do run very, very hot. Thus the reason why we're actually gonna be changing out the cooler assembly. And I'm using a microfiber rag, just like I did in the one video I was doing for rebuilding my AL box 2. So that way we can go ahead and make sure it's nice and clean and make sure there's not gonna be any dust or anything else like that on there. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and open up this kit right here, because we have to, first off, see what's inside the kit, and then second off, see how it's gonna fit on here so we can get this installed properly. All right, so when you look at this, it's actually a little 3D printed device, and it's gonna go on here something very similar to this right here. So as you can see, it should line up with the holes, so this hole here and this hole here, but there are the other two, but it should line up basically something like this. And then this right here, when it's bolted in, will be down on top of the ASIC chip like that, and then it'll help extract the heat. Now, one thing that you want to go ahead and do when you're going to try to mount this guy here is, if you look here, this is a flat surface. This side actually has a recess. So what we want to do is we want to use the recess side, because we've got to run the screws inside of there. So that way it's a nice, nice fit, and then that way there's not going to be anything making contact with the board itself. As you can see, this kit doesn't come with the screws that we would use, so we're going to have to use this kit right here. And we're gonna have to find the right screws inside of here to go into this heatsink. So let's see what we can find inside of here that's going to work. So we're gonna use the supplied screwdriver, just because these screws are really, really small as far as the heads that are on them. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're gonna go ahead and run this bad boy down. And it feels like the actual heatsink base is not threaded, so we're actually putting the threads in with this screw, which is sometimes common. It just depends on what you're trying to do, but it's going in there nice and easy. It does look like I'm putting a lot of effort into it, and I'm not really putting a lot. I'm just making sure I'm keeping the right kind of tension on it as I'm screwing it down, and the goal is for it to be like this, fully recessed. You don't see it from the side or anything else like that, and that means that we're going to be good with that. So now I'm going to go ahead and insert this other screw, and we're going to finish bolting this bad boy down. And this one is actually a little bit easier to go in. Go figure, right? So the reason why I'm doing this is because I have tried to overclock this unit before. And the issue is, if you try to run, when you start running the voltage and stuff like that up on this and the frequency, it gets way too hot, way too fast. So that's the reason why I put these here, because these have actually had an issue where these will burn out right over here as well. So I put these little aluminum heat sinks on there to help extract the heat. Some people use aluminum, some people use copper. I'm using aluminum because that's what I actually had, and it seems to work well for me. So now we just have to go ahead and make sure that we're going to the right orientation that we want. So it's got to look like that. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and apply a little bit of this Arctic MX4 onto the chip. So we're going to put a little dab on there. I don't want to put too much because I don't want it to, you know, be smashed all over the place. Because one of the things that you always have to take into consideration when you're doing something like this, where when you bolt it down, it's going to smush out. You have to make sure that you have just the right amount in there, so that way it's not too much and it doesn't go like everywhere. So there's two options that I think we have. One is to potentially reuse these guys here. But if you look at the actual orientation of this, it looks like it's probably going to be a little hard to actually get these to go in, because that's actually a lot thinner than what this plate is here. So I'm going to actually use these little screws right here. If you look right through here, you can actually sort of see, try to get a good angle here, but right down in here, you can sort of see that we're making a good contact with the ASIC chip itself. And then we're just going to go ahead and make sure that that's snug, and that one's snug. And now let's go ahead and figure out the orientation for this. So if we go this way, there's gonna be a little bit of extra tension on that wire set. If we go this way, it'll be a little less tension. It's gonna have a little bit of a loop at the bottom. You know what? I'm okay with that little bit of a loop. So let me go ahead and grab 4 of these screws. And let's get these guys inserted. So I haven't done a test fit on any of this stuff yet, so I'm hoping that these are the right size. Where'd my little screwdriver go? I'm going to use this guy right here because it's got the small opening, or a small Phillips. And it did screw in, so that's a plus. And because these are actually recessed, it's going to sit a little bit further on the inside. You just got to make sure that they're lined up with the mounts on the heatsink itself. And as you can see, it's going to be a little bit hard to see, but if you look right inside of here, you can see that there is still a gap in between the back of the screw and the fins, which is what we were wanting to accomplish, because we don't really want to run anything into these fins. That way it can cool properly. All right. Last thing, let's go ahead and plug our fan back in. And this should only go in one way. So once it's in, you have a nice little click. So I wanted to say thank you guys for joining me in this video. This was a one and done type video for me. So 100%, I just basically said I was going to go ahead and do this, and you guys are going to see everything that I do with it, in hopes that it turned out actually okay. And I do believe that it turned out well. So if you guys like videos like this, please let me know down in the comments below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Put the bell notification on to all, set to all, that way you don't miss out on any future videos that I do end up doing. And I've got a couple other good ideas that I'm going to be using here soon. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that I did just recently order a really cool Bitcoin miner. ETA is going to be in a couple days. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but it's going to be able to possibly be one of the most efficient type miners. It's not built specifically by any company directly, but it's supposed to be running at right around 50 terahash at like 800 watts, something like that. So we're going to verify all that stuff when the unit comes in. So I'm excited to see what it looks like. And it's sort of a custom built one. So yeah, please like, comment, share, subscribe, turn the bell notifications set to all. That way you don't miss out on anything, any future videos, especially the new one that's coming with this Bitcoin miner. I'm actually interested. I can't wait to get my hands on it. It looked really cool in the description. It is coming from a few states over. So we should see it hopefully in the next couple of days. And yeah, I'm super excited to show you guys. Thank you for joining me in today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Let me know what you guys think. Have a great rest of your day.